This is AppChasers.com. Today I wanted to show you another cool podcast app. It's called Overcast, and it aims to solve some of the problems with other podcast apps that have been released. Now, it's developed by the creator of Instapaper, Marco Arment, and he's had some success already in the App Store. He's also a podcaster, so he claims to know what really is needed in a podcast app. So we want to show you what it's all about. The neat thing, and I think the biggest thing about Overcast, is that it's a free app, meaning that it's an excellent contender against Apple's pretty terrible podcast app that they offer. When you launch Overcast for the first time, you'll be asked to create a new account on Overcast.fm. Now, you might wonder, why do I need to create an account? Well, what it allows the app to do is to sync all your settings as well as your subscription feed, so that in case the app's ever deleted or you lose the app, maybe you have to restore your phone or something, you can just log into your account and all your settings and podcasts will come back to the device. It'll also allow you to log in to Overcast.fm on a web browser, maybe on a computer or on your iPad, and listen to your podcast there. So we'll go ahead and skip this, but you would want to click on I'm new to Overcast here and create your account. I've already done that, so we'll just skip right over that section. Now that we're logged into the Overcast app, we see a few different options here on the main screen. Across the top of the screen are 4 different icons that we can tap on to access different areas of the app. For example, the upper left shows us our settings, where we can change our sync account, and we can also change our seat controls, which allows us to determine how far we want to skip forwards and backwards while we're listening to an episode. Now we can also see how many episodes are downloading at the current time. And then we can also create a playlist here. This will show us how to create a new playlist of different episodes, different shows that we can add to that playlist, and play them in a particular order. So you can see there's a few different options available under the playlists icon. So go ahead and you can mess around with that. There are some limitations with the free version, but if you go ahead and unlock these features with the optional in-app purchase, these will all become available to you. And then at the upper right corner, we've got the ability to add a podcast. So we'll show you how to do that. When you tap on the plus icon here, you can see that it brings up some sorted categories here, and there, again, different podcast shows that are available that you can choose from. These are curated by the app itself. You can also add from a URL. If you have a URL that you want to subscribe to that podcast, you can do it that way. Now we can also subscribe to a podcast, maybe the most common way, which is by searching for the name. So if you know the name of the podcast you're looking for, you can just go ahead and type it right here to search the directory. Now, I'll show you how that works. Let's search for the Awake Magazine podcast. Now this is a magazine podcast. So we type in Awake there. We'll scroll down until we see the one we're looking for, which is right here. Now there's 2 versions available, MP3 and AAC. I prefer the AAC version because that gives us chapters within the podcast. So different articles of the magazine will come up as different chapters that we can navigate through. So we'll tap on this, and we'll say subscribe here. Now that's going to automatically put the Awake podcast in our list here. So we'll scroll down to see that. Oh, there it is right there. Okay, so if we tap on that now, you can see that this gives us a little bit more of a detailed view of the podcast itself. So we can see all the episodes here. If we tap on one of them, it's automatically going to be downloading here. We can go into our settings. We can subscribe to all new episodes, and we can set notifications of new episodes too. And then lastly, how many episodes we would want to keep that are cached to our device. So we'll go back out of that. So that's how to add a new podcast, how to subscribe to one. And you can see because we did download that episode, it's now under our podcast section of our main screen and not under the played podcast. So that's ready and waiting in our queue to listen to. Now let's play one of these episodes. You can see I've got the Apple and Apps weekly podcast already down at the bottom of the screen here. Right at the bottom of the screen you see that stationary now playing bar. So that gives us access, quick access, no matter what screen we're in on Overcast. We'll be able to control what's currently playing. So you can see we've got our play button here, we've got our forward and backward skip buttons. I'll show you what that does. If we can also skip forward and backwards, you can see using those buttons. Right now I've got it set to skip forward a minute and skip backwards 30 seconds. Now if we want more control over what we're currently listening to, we can just tap on either the podcast itself here, giving us some more information. We can go back, or we can just tap on the icon of that now playing bar at the bottom. So we'll tap on that. You can see our album artwork came up beautifully. We can see where we are in the podcast. We've got simple controls available, and we've also got the ability to share this episode in the upper right hand corner. You can share it with a message, email, or even to different social networks that you might be a part of. Now, expanding upon the free version of Overcast are some really neat advanced features here that you can buy with the one-time in-app purchase. Now these, if you do purchase those, these are under the Effects tab in the lower right-hand corner. You can see that we've already unlocked this with a purchase. We've got different speed settings, and we've got Smart Feed in the left-hand side and Voice Boost on the right-hand side. Now Smart Speed is quite awesome. If you've ever used different speed settings while listening to podcasts, you notice that as the voices speed up or slow down, they tend to get distorted. Now what Smart Speed does is it intelligently removes pauses or dead silence from a conversation. So if there's two podcasters talking to each other, any lag in the conversation will be automatically cut out. You probably won't even notice that it's missing, and you won't even notice the time that you're saving by using Smart Speed here. So I really like that. The other one that's unlocked is Voice Boost. I find myself sometimes listening to podcasts, and there's two different people or more people talking, and it seems like they have their microphones set at different input levels, so one person might be talking and you hear them really well, loud and clear, while the other person's talking and you can barely hear them. What Volume Boost does, or excuse me, Voice Boost, is it levels the playing field. It brings those who are quiet to a higher level, and it even quiets those who may be speaking too loudly. So all the conversation will sound consistent to you. I really like that feature, and to me these two extras are worth the in-app purchase alone. Now with the in-app purchase you also get some playback options here. Continuously play episodes, play them one by one, moving on to the next podcast in your subscription feed, and you also get a sleep timer, which is nice. So that's an overview of the Overcast app. What do you think of the app? We here at AppChasers feel that it's an awesome alternative to Apple's terrible podcast app that they offer, and we feel that it's a wonderful free option for those looking to get into listening to podcasts.